Chapter 12 The Song of the Blue Unicorn. A Fairy Tale by Carol Mason. Once upon a time, there was a blue unicorn. It had large blue eyes and a long blue tail and a fine blue horn. The blue unicorn had been alive for as long as it could remember, and for as long as it could remember, it had never seen another creature such as itself. The blue unicorn lived in the land which it came to know as the land of bright meadows, where it pranced in the grass and frisked in the flowers and played with all the meadow creatures. Happy were the days of the blue unicorn in that merry land, and safe were its nights. But there was a gap somehow between the blue unicorn and the land of bright meadows in which it lived, something which the land had and the blue unicorn had not, a sound in the air of the land of the bright meadows that the blue unicorn half heard, half felt, but could never quite understand, a green and whispering sound, like the sound of a seed softly stirring its way from winter to spring. "What is that sound?" asked the blue unicorn. "It is the sound of our singing," replied the land of bright meadows. "Of what do you sing?" asked the blue unicorn. "We live and grow towards the sun. To sleep is easy, to wake is fun. Life is good and life is long. Because we live, we sing our song." "We sing the song of living," replied the land of the bright meadows. The blue unicorn listened once more and then tried to sing the song of living, but the only sound that it could make was a crackling, papery sound, like the sound of a dry husk peeling from a bulb. And the land of bright meadows murmured in sympathy and wonder. "Teach me to sing," said the blue unicorn. "Our song is ours. You must find your own," replied the land of the bright meadows. We, and you are alone." Somewhere there must be another creature just like me who can teach me to sing," said the blue unicorn. The blue unicorn left the land of bright meadows and came to the land of deep forest, where forest creatures nestled and burrowed and tall trees stretched dark above. The blue unicorn wandered in and out of the damp moss and dappled bracken toward the heart of the land of deep forest, and as it did so, it heard again the sound it now knew to call singing, a brown and velvet sound, like the sound of a root delving for water. "Of what do you sing?" asked the blue unicorn. "Towards the sun we live and grow, secrets of sap and seed we know. We cannot share what we have learned. Knowledge won is knowledge earned." "We sing the song of wisdom," replied the land of deep forest. The blue unicorn listened once more and then tried to sing the song of wisdom, but the only sound that it could make was the sound of a sigh, like the sound of a leaf makes as it flutters from autumn to winter. And the land of deep forest rustled in sympathy with wonder. "Teach me to sing," said the blue unicorn. "Our song is ours. You must find your own," replied the land of deep forest. We, and you are alone." Somewhere there must be another creature just like me who will teach me to sing," said the blue unicorn. And the blue unicorn left the land of deep forest and came to the land of bare mountains, where the vast and ancient chasms divided each lofty range, where no tree grew and no bird flew, and no shelter was there from storm or night. Higher and higher climbed the blue unicorn, struggling to reach the highest peaks, and as it did so, it heard again the sound that it now knew to call singing, a triumphant, ringing sound, like the sound a pinnacle makes as it pierces the wide sky. "Of what do you sing?" asked the blue unicorn. "We live and grow towards the sun, alone and proud the weak we shun, fearing nothing our hearts embrace, both grief of time and joy of space." "We sing the song of freedom." The blue unicorn listened once more and then tried to sing the song of freedom, but the only sound that it could make was a painful moaning sound, like the sound the wind makes as it searches bleak crags for somewhere to rest. And the land of bare mountains echoed in sympathy and wonder. "Teach me to sing," said the blue unicorn. "Our song is ours. You must find your own," replied the land of bare mountains. We, and you are alone." Somewhere there must be another creature just like me who will teach me to sing," said the blue unicorn. And the blue unicorn left the land of bare mountains and came to the land of white sands, where not rain, nor wind, nor cloud ruffled the glowing air. And the blue unicorn entered into the sound it now knew to call singing, a sound as full and as rich as the beat of the blue unicorn's blue heart, the sound of silence. "Of what do you sing?" asked the blue unicorn. And the land of white sands replied, "Under the sun we rest and know, while we are still, all else can grow. Silence dwells behind each sound, in that we trust our song we've found. We sing the song of peace." The blue unicorn listened once more and then tried to sing the song of peace, but the land of white sands shivered with sympathy and wonder to hear not singing, but the deep and awful sound of despair. "Teach me to sing," said the blue unicorn. "Our song is ours, you must find your own," replied the land of white sands. "We are we, and you are alone." The blue unicorn speckled the white sand with blue tears and said, Somewhere there must be another creature just like me who will teach me to sing." And the blue unicorn left the land of white sands and came to the land of clear waters, which stretched shimmering to the edge of the world. Weary was the blue unicorn, with a deep weariness that made the very marrow of its bones ache. And the blue unicorn rested a while at the land of clear waters, listening to the gentle lapping sound it now knew to call singing. The blue unicorn lowered its head to drink, but as it did so, it quivered with sudden wonder and joy to see in the water below another creature just like itself. "Oh, teach me to sing!" cried the blue unicorn. Then its heart stopped to hear that the creature below had cried even so, and the cry was followed by silence. Then the land softly sang, "As the blue of our waters is the blue of the sky, your own self you see, to yourself you cry, and what you would learn you always knew, for you are us and we are you. We are the waters of love, of us we bid you to drink, with us we bid you to sing." And the song of the blue unicorn was exactly the same and quite unlike every song that was ever sung. Chapter 13, Freedom. I'm in love with the independent being that's in the background, witnessing the mind's moralism and thoughts and principles and ideas and experiences. All human problems occur within the context of this witness being, who views the body's experience, the ongoing panoply of life, and the mind itself. This being includes everything we ever thought, and everyone we used to think we were, but is not limited to those thoughts and images. When we adopt the perspective of that witness as our own, that is, when each of us considers ourselves to be that witness, we then have the freedom to use all of the me's in our mind's images section to make happen whatever we want to make happen in our lives. And this new, wider sense of who we are leaves us being more creative and more willing to fly by the seat of our pants. That witness sits quietly, being the context within which the mind struggles and oppresses itself. The mind's primary interest is control, while the witness is more interested in revelation than control. The witness is always there, but often when people first come to see me in therapy, suffering from the oppression of their own minds, that witness is so surrounded by mind stuff that both the being and the mind are dying. This witness-creator being, which includes within itself the unique case history personality, operates differently than your average Joe. For example, this being would only be in a marriage as a matter of choice and not as a matter of security. She wouldn't be engaged in a relationship based on a promise from the other person not to hurt her feelings. That expanded to the width of the witness being is capable of saying, I'm here on this planet for experiencing, and I want to be a creator, not a victim. I'm willing to learn and keep learning. I am willing to experiment with life. I am more interested in discovery than carefulness. I can depend on my alertness more than my certainty that I'm right. I am more interested in learning than in protection. At this level of consciousness, It doesn't matter a lot whether the social arrangements experimented with are monogamous, polygamous, communist, capitalist, or socialist. It doesn't matter whether the person in bed next to us is a stranger or is the person we've slept with for most of the past 10 years. The encounter of two beings is what love is. At this level of being where love is, one-night stands are just as good as lifetime relationships. The place where energy is simply playing with our bodies, or where the being that we are play with each other, is a nice place, and you can go there with anybody, anytime. My friends, I stand as one among many. A whole bunch of us now know that it is more fun to be alive than to be right. We have lost our minds and come to our senses enough times to know what the goal is. When we are at our best, we are radicals, meaning we get at the root of things. We create, we tell the truth, we get off on destroying pretense. We have a technology of creation based on giving up lies and starting over again, over and over again. We can teach by example. We are an antidote to the poison of conventional education we have received. We wish to make all of us more like animals. We are still angry, but we are less angry than the calm-looking phonies who have control of the bomb. We are less blinded by anger than your average pathetic, rationalizing, miserable bastard, engaged in the normal politics of experience. We are the new teachers. We are out to save the world. We are against politeness as a substitute for the truth because that politeness kills. Politeness and diplomacy are responsible for more suffering and death than all the crimes of passion in history. Fuck politeness. Fuck diplomacy. Tell the truth. I have one of the best jobs in the world. The opportunity given me to contribute to other people by listening to their struggle between being and mind is a great gift because it gives me the opportunity to practice my own ongoing liberation. When I'm operating out of that, thank you for letting me in on your life, I'm a great therapist. When I'm paying attention with honor and with interest, I never have to think of what to say. Whatever comes out of me doesn't seem to come from me. It comes from us. When speaking comes out of listening rather than the reverse, I am liberated from my mind just as much as they are from theirs. Missionary work, the organizing principle of the newly saved. It should come as no surprise that I recommend helping other people as a method of staying awake. Since memorizing the idea of liberation kills liberation, you have to do something other than memorize and remember to keep being liberated. What keeps you liberated is interaction with other people interested in staying in contact with their fundamental nature as beings and being honored by the opportunity they provide you when they allow you to contribute to them in this way. So the first thing you want to do to keep alive is find a missionary group that is going about the business of liberation from the mind. The future of your therapy and of therapy itself is in community. A community organized around people helping themselves and other people be liberated from their minds is your best bet. These groups provide a service not only to each other, but to people who could well use their service but don't know it yet. The kind of group I recommend is one in which the people don't seem to be in too big of a hurry. Yuppie salvation, relief from the anxiety of too many choices. We're all very busy these days. Technology run amok creates new possibilities by the dozens every day. It's a lot of fun, but we wear ourselves out trying to experience everything when everything is too plentiful to be experienced. You and I are always missing something and wishing we weren't, and always feeling that real life is where we're not. Whenever we are doing anything, we are missing everything else. Commercials in our own minds constantly whisper to us of something else we should be doing. Watching TV, playing the guitar, going out to eat, playing video games, sitting on the front deck, sitting on the back deck, eating food, drinking alcohol, smoking dope, having a meeting, playing golf, running, working, etc. This whisper goes on day and night, a background conscientiousness that bugs the shit out of us. It says, while you are doing this, you are missing all of the rest. How do you calm down enough to recontact being in the midst of all this? I constantly fret about books and movies I miss, or am missing, or might miss, or should not miss. How much more is there to know than I will ever learn? It boggles the mind. I am greedy. I am hysterically greedy. I am so impatient, I am hardly here at all. There is already more to be learned than can be learned. The accumulation of other human beings' creative products now available to us has amounted to more than we can ever use. It's pointless for us to avail ourselves of all learning opportunities or of all activities of interest. We freeze up from trying not to die in too many ways. We have to let go of possibilities for the future as well as memories from the past. We burn out from holding on to possibilities for the future in just the same way we deaden ourselves by trying to hold on to and live up to images and values from the past. We work just as hysterically to keep the future alive as we do when we try to keep the past alive. We are paralyzed at the point of choice. We cannot say yes for all the no's required in order to do so. We can't orient ourselves without dreams, and we choke the life out of ourselves when we are trapped in them.